Hey YouTube, Bob here with the next video in my first party Nintendo Players Guides playlist. And in this one we're going to be taking a look at the guides for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Now this of course is a console that I have lots and lots of nostalgia for, and I can say without hesitation that it is my most favorite of Nintendo consoles, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System released in 1991. And I'm fairly certain that I have pretty much all the first party published by Nintendo players guides for the system. I've got 18 here. Let me know if I'm mistaken. There may be some that I'm missing. But I've got a lot of nostalgia for this console. As I mentioned in some previous videos, I learned lots of new vocabulary words out of these guides. They gave me some insight into the games that I loved that were just not available in the games themselves due to the technical limitations. The artwork that we never got to see in-game, or the backstory that we never got to hear. So these guides just really, further educated me on the games that I already loved. So we're going to take a look at these guides very briefly. As you know, I'm going to pick one to take a look at in a more detailed way, and then finally you'll be able to find in the description for this video a link to a forum where you can vote on which video which guide of Super Nintendo games that you would like to see me take an even more detailed look at in the follow-up video to this one. But for now, we're just going to be going through these in alphabetical order, with the exception of the first two, which are just overview guides, and the last one that I show here, which is not necessarily a Super Nintendo guide. It's really more for all three of the consoles at the time, which were the Super Nintendo, the Nintendo Entertainment System, and the Game Boy. But we'll get into that one. And then I'll cap everything off by taking a more detailed look into one of the guides of my choice here. So, this is the very first Super NES Player's Guide, released in 1991, and it's appropriately titled Super NES Player's Guide. And what it is, if we take a look at the back, launch into 16-bit action with an official tour of the Super NES. So it gives you very detailed reviews of lots of games here. Some of the first games, or we call them launch window games, for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. So can't tell you how many hours I poured over this guide, looking at the pictures, reading the backstories for all the games that I wanted. And of course couldn't get it as a kid, but had you told me back then when I was 11, 12 years old that one day I would have all the games that I wanted, well, I would be very excited. But this is the guide that kicked off that dream. This next one here, if you take a look at the first guide that I have here, and then we take a look at this one, and then we take a look at the next one, which is Chrono Trigger, you can see that this one breaks with the style of the guide. A lot of these guides have that square motif in the middle, and we're going to take a look at these as we go through them. But this guide here, the Super NES Game Guide, it doesn't follow the motif, and it doesn't follow the size as all the other guides do. You can see that this one, let me hold it this way, is quite a bit longer, or taller rather, than the first guide that I've shown you here, and it just doesn't follow the aesthetics as the rest do. So I find that interesting, and also interesting to note that there's only 2 years of separation between this official Super NES Game Guide and the Super NES Player's Guide. So in this one, what they have to say is, here is the complete guide to nearly 320 games for the Super NES. So there's 2 more years worth of games that have come out in this guide, but the Super NES went on to have a very strong 3 years after this guide was published, and to my knowledge there was no follow-up. It would have made sense to have this as an introductory guide, to kind of launch window titles. This one kind of mid-life of the system in 1993, and then maybe a follow-up one in 1995 or 1996, once some of the really, really killer titles came out that showed off some of the advanced features of the system. But to my knowledge, there was no third general type of guide that other than these two right here. So the other ones we're going to take a look at now in alphabetical order are game-specific guides. So this first one here is Chrono Trigger, super popular JRPG for the system and one of my favorite games. Keeping track of time has never been so tough. This one has lots of good artwork by Akira. I think it's Akira Toriyama. Is his first name Akira? Correct me on that in the comments if you know, but I'm pretty sure his last name is Toriyama. So this is Chrono Trigger. Then we've got the guide for the original Donkey Kong Country, and I've got the trilogy here. We've got Donkey Kong Country. The Donkey Kong Country Player's Guide has survival tactics for over 100 areas of jungle caves, mines, coral reefs, temples, and more. Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Kong Quest. Didn't realize that play on words that they did until well after I was a kid. I just thought it was Kong Quest, but if you pronounce it correctly, Diddy's Conquest, it sounds like conquest. They say get the player's guide that delivers the bananas and more. And then finally the third game, the very end of the Super Nintendo Entertainment System's life, the official Donkey Kong Country 3, Dixie Kong's Double Trouble player's guide. Donkey Kong Country 3, there's a new Kremling leader in town. And then continuing on, this is the Earthbound strategy guide that was packaged with the big box. Actually, I was going to say version, but there was only ever one version of Earthbound, which is the big box version. And the reason it was in a big box is because this player's guide was included in it. So this is the guide for Earthbound. Great pizza, new friends, world travel, free daily newspaper, and an alien megalomaniac await you. Then, of course, we have Final Fantasy III, one of the most revered RPGs in the Super Nintendo's catalog. Often goes head-to-head in which is better with Chrono Trigger. And there's kind of a heated battle between which is better. I prefer Chrono Trigger, but Final Fantasy III certainly is one of the best RPGs ever made. And this one says, step into the vast world of Final Fantasy III. Lots and lots of text there. Kind of gives you a little foreshadowing of what you're going to be taking a look at in the game. Next one is for Killer Instinct. Pretty cool, almost all black guide, especially when you flip it over. This book is a killer. This is the edge you need. Then for The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. You can see this motif we have going on here with that rectangle in the middle. Keep this 168-page guide at hand for your journey through the vast reaches of The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. A giant encyclopedia packed with maps, items, weapons, tactics, and more. Guides you through the vast reaches of the light and dark worlds. How to overcome insurmountable obstacles. This is one of the guides that gave you so much backstory that I learned lots of vocabulary out of this particular guide, and the artwork that they included in it was just amazing. Mario Mania, this one's kind of a special one because while it really is the official guide for Super Mario World, they include lots of other information about Mario. And on the back it says, finally, Nintendo unveils the inside story on Mario. This is the only place to find it. Little known facts, one-of-a-kind tips, and more. It's all right here. Don't miss it. Plus, oh yeah, by the way, plus the guide, 140-page Super Mario World Extravaganza, the ultimate review. And one thing that's in this guide is an interview with Shigeru Miyamoto, and they ask him a question, and I don't remember what the question was, but his response is, well, I can't go into details, but I can tell you we have something special in the works. And as a kid, wow, something special pertaining to Mario. And in retrospect, I think he was either foreshadowing Super Mario Kart or Mario Paint, because at the time of the publication of this guide, those were the two biggest Mario games in development, or that could have been in development. Or maybe he could have been referring to what wouldn't come out until 1993, which was Super Mario All-Stars. So we will never know. Shigeru Miyamoto himself probably doesn't even remember what he might have been referring to in that interview. Next one is Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2 Turbo. This one's kind of curious in that, just like the Final Fantasy VII guide, most of the time Nintendo published guides, they were for first-party games, whereas Street Fighter 2 Turbo was published by Capcom, and then Final Fantasy III was published by Squaresoft, and of course Chrono Trigger as well. But in some cases, Nintendo did publish their first-party guides for non-first-party games, and this is one of those examples here. This is the fast track to becoming the greatest world warrior. This player's guide gives you all the street smarts you need to come out fighting to win. From family history to fast, furious combo moves, you'll get the dirt. And again, you're seeing the motif with all these, I don't understand why, arrows all over the place, and then the rectangle with the text in it. And we'll probably see that on the next one here for Super Mario All-Stars from 1993. Some interesting artwork there with the twisty pipes. Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 2, The Lost Levels, and Super Mario Brothers 3, written with a Roman numeral 3. We typically don't see that. But on the back, get ready for more action than a barrel of Bowsers. You'll be lost without this player's guide to the Lost Levels. The next one is for Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars. This one again was published by Squaresoft, but Nintendo definitely had a huge role to play in the production of this game. When wishes can't come true, there's only one place to turn, the Super Mario RPG Player's Guide, recommended by plumbers everywhere. Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. I've been told that North America was the only territory where Yoshi's Island was branded as Super Mario World 2. I think it was a marketing technique because when it was re-released on the DS and in subsequent re-releases or remakes, the Super Mario World title was dropped. But regardless, back in 1995 or I think it was 1995 when this game came out, it was to be a sequel to Super Mario World. And the guide says, chalk up a perfect score on Yoshi's Island with this fact-filled, map-packed Nintendo Player's Guide. Then moving along to Super Metroid here, continuing with the rectangle and arrow motif, so common to these guides. The Super Metroid Player's Guide is an arsenal of hot information for gamers. Check out detailed area maps, master cool new moves. And then this final one here, this is the one that I mentioned is not specific to the Super Nintendo. It's actually for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, the Nintendo Entertainment System, and the Game Boy. Top Secret Passwords. This is just a guide that Nintendo Power put together that had pretty much all the passwords or codes that you needed for games, either to skip levels or if the games had any other types of power-ups you could earn by putting in codes. Those were included here. This isn't Game Genie necessarily. These are just codes that were kind of baked into the coding of the game, and they were used to give players some benefits. So this guide says, uncover the secrets of your all-time favorite hits. Get insiders' passwords to success. And you can see they have listed there NES, Super NES, and Game Boy titles. Find hidden shortcuts with stage selects. So lots and lots of different games for all three of those consoles. So those are 17, and although this one doesn't really count, so maybe 16 of the Super NES guides. The 17th one is the one that I've chosen to give a little bit more of an in-depth or detailed review on. And let me grab that here. Maybe you noticed what it was, or noticed that it was conspicuously missing, which is the Mario Paint Nintendo Player's Guide. Now, why did I choose this one? Well, honestly, I think it's because it's the one that spent the most hours in an open position, as I used it to painstakingly recreate the stamps, the animations, and even some of the songs detailed in the guide here. So this was just so much fun to go through. Unleash your creative powers with the complete guide to Mario Paint. The possibilities are endless, and the best way to get started on the incredible journey into your own imagination is with this comprehensive 124-page player's guide, only from Nintendo. Send a video letter to a friend. Make music, even if you can't read a note. Make a masterpiece even if you aren't an artist. All you need is Mario Paint and this player's guide to reach the outer limits of your own imagination. Working like the pros is as easy as filling in the dots. A snap. How would you feel to be the creator of Star Fox, Dr. Mario, Link, Street Fighter, or Yoshi? How would you like to draw your own sports logos? It's easy to create video images just the way the pros do. This player's guide will get you into the program in every mode. Build game scenes. Bring characters to life. Here are just a few more things you can do with stamps and a little animation. Float lemmings off a cliff. Pit Guile against Chun-Li. Help Dr. Mario find the cure. Send Leonardo out for pizza. Turn the Statue of Liberty's head. Put a man on the moon. Make pigs fly or sing. Make the Mona Lisa grin. This player's guide will unlock your powers. It's your key to creativity amongst all the mystery arrows. So let's take a look and see what the inside brings us. Some very neat kind of 90s artwork there. Mario Paint. We've got a little bit of a history of the game. Stamp animation. Character collections, which I believe are stamps for certain franchises. We'll take a look at that. Music. This game did have music composition in it. Sports stamps. I don't think I spent too much time on page 78 there. Video. You could do, I gave you instructions here for recording your Mario Paint creations. And as a bonus feature to this video, I will be putting at the very end here the video that I created back in the day of my Mario Paint creations. So you can see that. It's going to be very cringy and embarrassing, but I hope you enjoy. Then we got the Game Maker, Stamp Gallery, and Art. So let's take a look and see what the intro has to say about Mario Paint. Mario Paint makes it all possible. Welcome to the world of Mario Paint, where masterpieces of many kinds are possible. Are you interested in art? Intrigued by animation? Itching to make a music video? Mario Paint has the tools, and in this player's guide, we'll show you how to use them. We'll go beyond the basics. If you thought painting was all there was to the program, you'll be surprised by its other possibilities. In the first section, we'll show you how to create animation with custom stamps using the same techniques that real game developers use to animate their games. Next comes a section that demonstrates the stamp animation techniques at work, complete with music. After animation comes the music section, where we show you how to use the Mario Paint music mode to score either your original compositions or your favorite songs. Following that, we'll plot the steps making a video greeting to send to a friend. Whether you want to invite a friend to your birthday party or send your mom a Mother's Day greeting, you'll see what it takes to make it great. Then we move on to the ultimate, creating a music video using original animation that you designed to accompany the song of your choice. We'll show you how to create some fun games that you can actually play using Mario Paint, and finally we'll wander through the Mario Paint gallery. It's all designed to show what you can do with this amazing game pack so you can make the most of Mario Paint. Just imagine the possibilities. Look for other Nintendo players' guides for the most complete game coverage from the pros. So, the Mario Paint Nintendo Player's Guide. So starting here, just a little bit of the history here, even goes into art history at a super basic level there. Shows you your input device, which is the new Super NES mouse that was packaged with all Mario Paint games there. And then they give you some recreations of popular pieces of art by very famous artists there made in Mario Paint. Even goes into music as well. Takes you through what was then present day in the 90s. So stamp animation, this was the easiest way to do drawings, I believe, because the stamp gave you that level of detail that you just didn't have with the paintbrush tool. So it goes through all of the tools that you had at your disposal here, all the paint and pattern palettes that you had, and even goes into the coffee break game called Nat Attack, which is just kind of practice with the mouse. Basics of animation tells you can use 4, 6, and 9 panel animations, and how to make the subtle changes to make it seem like it is actually being animated as it goes through each panel. Shows you how to use the special stamp creator there, pixel by pixel. And then it tells you about all the stamps that are already built into the game that you could use. Quite a few there. Getting a little bit into some music here. This just gives you the general score for one of their pieces. How to put two or more stamps together to create a figure. Because Mario Paint did have a battery backup. You could save your creations, but it was very limited. You could only save one complete creation at a time, but several stamps at a time. Like this one right here, if you wanted to create the Dr. Mario logo, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, that would take up 12 stamps in your stamp library. Would show you how to recreate scenes from the game. And Zelda, Star Fox, Lemmings. That's an interesting choice. I wonder how they arrived at Lemmings. Santa's back. Kind of random here, although I think I did make this one when we do the video. When you see my Mario Paint video, I think there's a Christmas scene in there. In UFO in the USA. It just made a kind of a background here and then just used the UFO stamp that was included. Here's the Super Power Club Nintendo Power subscription card that is kind of bound right in there. Never took it out. Huge amount of stamps you'd need to create the Statue of Liberty there. Street Fighter scenes. All the pieces for Guile, and I believe these were for animations. Yeah, motion stamps. You could create those to animate Guile's Sonic Boom. Not too bad what they were able to recreate in Mario Paint if you compare it to the original. Certainly lacking some detail, but still looks pretty good. I don't think I ever took it this far. It's another scene with Zangief versus E. Honda. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, complete with the music score there. Clean up your act. Okay, just a random one. Windsurfer. Man on the Moon. Under Construction. So these are some non-game specific ones they included. Beethoven, that's kind of cool. Tribute to Beethoven there. I got the treble clef. Orbital Vision, a space theme one with Galileo. Faces in the Crowd, kind of a random abstract one. Home Run Bandit, baseball theme, complete with soundtrack. Bartman on the Move, here's a Simpsons one. Plock, what an interesting choice, a very unknown game. I actually entered in a sweepstakes to try to win it, and I did not. So character collections, this is the gallery for all the stamps or partial stamps you could create to make popular Mario characters here on the left page. Legend of Zelda and Star Fox characters on the right page here. Lots and lots of stamps to create the Street Fighter characters, but very, very detailed. Just about as detailed, and they're showing you, giving you the in-game sprites versus the Mario Paint sprites, and they are pretty spot on there. Almost exactly the same as the game. Pretty cool. I don't remember which of these I made. And we've got Mega Man, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Battletoads, Wizard of Oz, and just some miscellaneous comic book characters. F-Zero. Let's see. Mario painting. Got some Star Wars and Star Fox. Then we head on into the music section. So this was pretty limited, and I think people have made computer versions that are far more robust, but still have the same idea. All the different symbols here were different sounds. And to this day, I can look at the symbol and I can hear the sound that it makes. I know exactly what those sounds are. If I had to match them, I could do it 100%. So lots of different scores there. It gets into some basics of music. Shows you how to use the different element or instruments to create the different parts, the bass, rhythm, melody, accents. And then we've got some Mario themed ones and a Tetris one. There's the Mario Paint songbook, some very popular songs, Yankee Doodle. 10 Little Goombas, that's not a popular song. Wedding March, Old Grandfather's Clock, Nutcracker Suite, Long, Long Ago, William Tell Overture, Music Meringue, Blue Danube, Food Chain, Star Wars, Little Brown Jug, and then some sports stamps here for popular sports teams. Quite a few here. So you can see, if you had any interest in Nintendo or sports, you could spend hours with this guide recreating all of these things here. So then finally, video. Lights, camera, action. With Mario Paint, you can be the director of your own music video. This chapter takes you behind the scenes to see how it's done. Mario Paint television, little MTV ripoff there. You could make a video letter here. Shows you how to hook up your TV and your Super NES to your VCR to record your Mario Paint creations, and then send that VHS tape through the mail to its recipient. So certainly a cumbersome process by today's standards, but definitely viable. I never sent mine to anybody, but I do have the original VHS tape, and I'll be sharing that with you at the end of this video, which we are just about at as we wrap up the Mario Paint TV feature in the video section of the guide, showing you how to use music other than Mario Paint. Here's the Beatles CD for Abbey Road. If you want to pipe in some other music, you can use your CD or tape player to do that, is what they're recommending there. And you weren't publishing it online, just taping it to a VHS tape, so you didn't have to worry about it being blocked or taken down. So kind of an interesting choice of CDs there. How to select your music, make your storyboard, chart the scenes. A lot of detail went into this. A lot of it's very timely too. Got Wayne's World reference there, Michael Jackson reference. Game Maker. Could actually make some games in Mario Paint. Galactic Risk, Fences, Scramble, Mario Chess, and then just more stamps. A lot of different types of stamps. A lot of different interests. They show you what it looks like blown up and then what it would look like in game, everything all put together. Ooh, don't even have enough save spots to put that together. Mario Paint USA and the Mona Lisa, all made by stamps. Art. Mario Paint takes art from the canvas to the screen with a palette that includes more than just colors. See what you can do with the shapes and stamps in your Mario's Paint box. So special art techniques beyond just using the brushes as they are. Getting in some impressionist look here. Using stamps to color gives you a very different effect. Mixing colors and creating patterns. A little dithering effect there. How to use the airbrush to make it look impressionistic. All the technique of dragging the stamps around. And then the Mario Paint Gallery. For those who are artistically inclined, which I am not. But I still enjoyed Mario Paint just the same. And that's why this guide was so very special to me, because it helped me get more out of that game. I mean, I loved it. I was attracted to the, remember I was thrilled when I first heard about Mario Paint, because I loved the paint program on the Macs at school that I had to play with a little bit. And when I heard it was coming to Super Nintendo, I was like, oh my god, I have to get that. So the Mario Paint Player's Guide helped me enjoy that. And that's why I chose that one to take a more detailed look at in this video. But there's lots and lots more guides. Got Top Secret, Super Metroid, Yoshi's Island, Super Mario RPG, Super Mario All-Stars, Street Fighter II Turbo, Mario Mania, Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, Killer Instinct, Final Fantasy III, Earthbound, Donkey Kong Country 3, Donkey Kong Country 2, Donkey Kong Country, Chrono Trigger, and then the Super NES overview guides. So you get to vote which one you want me to take an in-depth look at in the follow-up to this video. So be looking for that form in the description for this video. And stay tuned if you want to check out my Mario Paintworks, which is what I believe I titled the VHS tape. So that'll be on at the end of this video. But until then, take it easy, and you'll be seeing me in the next one.